Hello all, welcome back to One Pitch Catch. It's been around a few days since we last met. Last Friday, கொஞ்சம் CSK கழுவி ஊத்தின அப்புறம். Now we have had 4 games after that, one on Saturday, a couple on Sunday, and then one yesterday. We want to just try and take stock of these games, not necessarily in great detail, but I think there's some themes emerging in terms of how some of these sides are basically progressing, even if it's a limited time span so far, literally a week and a half since the tournament started. So we want to start off with Mumbai Indians, right? Because it was one of the teams that we called out as being pretty scary, but somehow something is not going on well. So Ganesh, what are your observations in terms of just Mumbai Indians performance, selections, anything that stands out for you?
Thanks, Jaga. Historically, they have been bad starters. I still think they are still scary, but the last three results uh, may not stand by that. But I think they are still scary because I think they lost the CSK game, which CSK also didn't
Yeah.
play very well towards the end. And then this next game, I think MI made some strategic mistakes in terms of team selections.
Hmm.
They dropped Will Jacks and Vignesh Puttur and brought in Robin Mins and Mujibur Rahman. I
This
think
was their second game, basically, right?
that's the second game versus
Yeah.
GT. Versus GT. So that I don't think is was a great idea. I mean, Rob, everybody vouches, and I also, I mean, I'm in awe of Mumbai Indians talent scouting generally. But this time, this Robin Mins is one guy. I think they've not got it right.
Hmm.
Maybe it's too early to say he's played a very few games and all, but looking at him play the first 1 or 2 games, I don't think Robin Mins belongs to the MI scouting
Yeah,
category.
yeah.
I feel.
Okay.
I mean,
When
all
they
respect to
they
his
found that
batting and all those
Ashwani
things.
guy yesterday, and the guy Ashwani who took 4 wickets, he's from the same
Yeah,
stables.
Puttur, Vignesh Puttur, Ashwani, and all those things are typical MI scouting. But Robin Mins is not there. I feel maybe
Hmm.
in the next 2 years he may still make it. Right now, I think he's still not there. I feel, and playing him and Mujibur Rahman instead of Jackson
Okay.
and Puttur was not the right call. I think because it's not in Ahmedabad. Yes, the pace bowlers will bowl well, but given the fact Rashid bowled. Sai Kishore bowled well. They could have still played Vignesh Puttur, I think.
Yeah.
And Will Jacks is a very destructive batsman. And I think not playing him was not a good idea. Eventually, they lost that game also
Yeah.
with some good performances from GT by Sai Sudarshan and Prasidh Krishna bowled extremely great
Yeah.
spell. All that worked against Mumbai. But Mumbai also did some selection mistakes, I feel. But I think they rectified it in the next game yesterday versus
Hmm.
KKR
Yeah. Correct.
when they came out all guns firing and
Middleton
KKR
was
KKR was suddenly playing the SRH game
among.
of trying to hit every ball, whatever happens on the other end. But Mumbai are back in track. Though it was a very easy win yesterday, I think
Okay.
that would have given them a lot of confidence. Everybody bowled well. The batting again, they're not the entire team was exposed to
Hmm.
the middle order was not exposed much because the target was hardly sub 120. But
Yeah.
I think Mumbai yesterday's win should put them back on track, and that should help them going forward in the series. And still feel they are still scary with their batting and bowling lineup. Jaga.
Hmm. Actually, since you mentioned Prasidh's bowling against them, what is interesting is when you read the news articles and he's talking about how he basically he just banged it into the pitch and bowled cutters. It takes you back to what the Australian team did in the 2023 World Cup final. That was
Hmm.
basically their strategy. So it seems like that's something that teams will start doing a lot more at Ahmedabad for sure. Just
Yeah,
very just the same. Basically, they started doing the same thing.
excellent. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good parallel. I think probably they pulled a leaf out of Cummins and
Ackerman's
Australian
and
team. That's good.
so when you're talking about Mumbai, right? I mean, one of the things that's a little perhaps worrying may not necessarily be a worry from a longer term perspective in the context of this tournament, but Rohit Sharma, right? I don't think he's there. He seems a little out of sorts. The timing is all over the place. Yesterday, Harshit Rana was bowling pretty decently to him. He nearly cleaned him up a couple of times. So, what are you observing about him? And he's an impact sub, right? So he basically doesn't play the full game.
I mean, being an impact sub, everyone expects him to have a better batting impact on the
Fact.
team when the team bats. I mean, even if you are in the 11 main 11, not being an impact sub, you are expected to do what you're expected to do. But I think Rohit Sharma can fix it. I mean, I'm probably talking a little biased because I'm a big Rohit fan. Uh, I think he can still fix it, but it's been too long, Jaga. You are right. It's
Hmm.
been too long for a batsman. It is like some of his early days when he was not scoring anything, and Dhoni kept on persisting
Yeah,
with him, and people were really annoyed at this Rohit Sharma birth, even given the long rope that he was given when he was very young. But he proved everyone wrong, and eventually, I mean, I
yeah.
wouldn't say he proved everyone wrong at that time. Because of him, India lost some
Yeah,
games
he's
and
not
all those
performing,
things.
right? So the questions
He
are
was
very
not
valid.
performing. But then over the last 7, 8, 9 years that he's been a great, especially
Yeah,
in the white ball. He's been white ball
right.
great in both forms. But now in all forms, it is getting too long. I think the fans would start losing their patience, like you
Yeah,
rightly said. Mumbai has to do something about it, and Rohit also has to do something about it. Even yesterday was a very small chase, which Ryan Rickerton
yeah.
found the gear to get through. I mean, he was also not scoring runs in the first two games. He used
Right.
it
Yeah,
to his advantage and scored those runs. But Rohit
get into
Sharma
form.
didn't. He could have easily scored a 40-50 yesterday
Yeah, yeah.
and silenced his people who question him, but it didn't happen. I hope he comes good for his fans and MI's sake. MI wouldn't be so worried about
Hmm.
his form as such because they have a big batting lineup. But
Yeah,
again, that does not mean that he can hide without scoring runs for the entire tournament. He has to fix it definitely, Jaga. Yes,
yeah. Plus, he's not played a T20 game of any relevance since June last year, right?
yes.
So basically 9 months almost now. He's not played any T20 games. So I'm pretty sure that's a factor in terms of how he's performing. We'll see how the tournament pans out. So let's if we're done with MI, let's go on to the next team, which is basically KKR. We had called out in our previews that it's a little shaky. We are not really sure. I mean, there are a lot of names, but then there are also a lot of names that are not there anymore, right? So, and they're, I think, languishing at the bottom of the table right now.
Uh, See, whether they are at the 8, 9, 10 bottom of the table or wherever, I think they really do not have the personnel to do well at this IPL. I feel though they managed to get one win, but I think they have not been very convincing. The one win that came was against RR, I mean, where RR
Yep.
had no clue. But I think, like I read somewhere today, all there are four KKR players who were KKR players last year, with some other teams this year are doing very well. Shreyas Iyer, Nitish Rana, Mitchell Stark, and Phil Salt. Okay, these are the four names I
Yeah.
read in an article. These four people are doing very well, but not in KKR colors. So, and letting them go was not a great idea, like we spoke in the preview itself. And they have also, especially when they have lost their entire coaching team with Gautam
Mm.
Gambhir and co. I mean, that is not in their hands. They opted to
Yeah.
go for the India
Correct,
thing. That
correct.
is fine. But when once you lose that one set, you have the other set. They should have fixed it, but I
Yeah,
think they
correct.
didn't go. I think they thought that they can do with the Narains and Russells, but it's not working out. And Russell has also not shown
Yeah.
any form till in the next in the first three games. So I think it is worrying. I don't see KKR doing very well going forward also. And yesterday their game was absolutely like SRH, which was extremely shocking to see because the way
Mm.
when even when wickets falling, they were just blasting. No, that's not the way to play, especially in Wankhede. If you get batted out a little bit, Rinku Singh, all these people, if you bat out
Yeah.
initially, you lose three wickets in the power play. It happens sometimes. When you bat out and bat till the 13th, 14th over, it's a good opportunity to score 160, 170. I mean, if you get 170, you are in the game. But with
Yeah.
116, you are not in the game against any team.
Correct.
So that is a mistake. I feel the SRH has set a bad template for themselves, and KKR seems to be following it. That's not right, I feel.
And it's not like they don't have the personnel, right? I mean, they have the names for sure. Even among those that are playing for them, they have names that are not playing for them anymore, but they do have some level of capabilities and
No, definitely they
out
have. I
there.
mean, see, they may not be the stars that they lost, but they
Yeah,
definitely have it in them to score a 160, 170 yesterday, even yesterday after losing the first three, four wickets quickly in power play. Because Rinku Singh can bat for a while.
yeah,
Manish Pandey they brought in as an impact sub, which because of which they lost Vaibhav Arora, which should have been a good idea in this pitch. But again, even Vaibhav Arora, if he had bowled, they wouldn't have won because the batting only got them 116 runs. So that's not
correct.
going to
Yeah.
help. Um, but overall, they have the people to bat, but they didn't seem to have that mind to bat yesterday. They wanted
Mm.
to just throw their bats around. Venkatesh Iyer, all these people are good batsmen. Ramandeep Singh was left alone at the end. What he
Right.
could do was 15, 16 runs. He could. I mean, he can't do anything with batting with the
Correct.
with number
It was
11. So that's
10
very
and 11.
difficult.
Yeah.
Hmm. So
So
he was
that's was
he.
actually,
Ramandeep
if
Singh
we had
came
to
at
sum
number
it up,
nine.
yeah, sorry, finish.
Yeah, Ramandeep Singh came in at number nine. It's
Correct.
too late for him to stage a revival.
So if we had to sum it up, then basically KKR Academy is doing well, KKR Finishing School is doing well, but not the KKR team itself.
Right. That's very true. That's very true. Right. Right. Nicely put, Jaga. That's right.
Which takes us to the team that they're trying to emulate, SRH. This just start off with a bang, 280 plus. There's all this talk about 300 coming up, etc., etc. And is it fizzling out? I mean, if you think about it, they they messed up. I think out of the two knockouts, the playoffs, they lost in the final and they lost the first qualifier as well. So they basically won one out of those three matches, and then they've lost two out of three so far. So that's like four out of six matches they've lost.
With
What
this,
is going on?
with yeah, they're like it was about to come back to the same stat about they have lost four out of the last six games playing by this same template of hitting everything. And I think, and even now, Vettori seems to be saying that we will continue the same template. Like we said in the preview, teams would come prepared, should come prepared for SRS this time. We said that. I think teams are prepared for them. They just can't. I don't think that any team, even baseball, has failed.
Yeah,
So you can't just keep throwing your bat around and expect the opponents not to react to it. They will definitely in
yeah,
today's world with video. I mean, even without the video analysis and all those things, you can't throw your
correct.
bat and get your way around, get out of it. So there will be people who will get you and this has happened twice now. Though they
Yeah,
got their way against RR, who seemed to have found an answer to SRS.
that was a bad attack by the way. So
Yeah. So these two, that LSG and DC, right? So they've lost both games, which should be worrying to them to rethink their template and do something about it. But all this said, one name that stood out was that Aniket Verma. The way he batted was extremely good. He gave some respectability to that score of 163. Otherwise, they would have been a KKR like 110,
yeah,
120 score. He batted extremely well. His power of six hitting was very good. Um, that again that brings to another name of adding to Ashutosh and Shashank, this Aniket, this the likes of Shivam Dubey and Rinku Singh, who are kind of finishers in the Indian team, should rethink their batting, and they should
yeah.
be able to, especially in the T20 team. There are a lot of names vying for that spot. I feel.
Got it. Yeah, right. Then we move to CSK. That seems in trouble. I mean, if SRH is batting one way, CSK is batting a different way altogether. It doesn't even they're like uh, I think their batting has been pathetic all three times. They just got lucky in that first
Yes,
game.
exactly.
Uh, and I mean, there seems to be problems with batting, with bowling. There's no power hitting I can see if you compare it to the other teams. Plus, we also spoke about Dhoni's batting position and what are they actually trying to do with him and things like that. What are you seeing? What have you come up with?
I think we did a lot about their first class with against RCB. Again, there is another loss that has come with RR, which they should have
Yeah,
won. Given the fact that RR should have scored 210 or 220, they messed it up and ended up at 180-ish. And then our CSK missed. I mean, the first over was devastatingly good by Jofra Archer.
Archer.
He had a great over, wicket made in the first maiden over of this IPL. All that is fine, but there are 19 more overs to get the 183, which is good enough. They didn't try at all. I mean, you cannot expect the last 1 over to get somebody, Dhoni or a Jadeja or anybody coming and scoring 20, 25 runs every time. It happens once in a while. It cannot happen always. There is always a problem. And Dhoni, we know that he's reluctant to bat up. That is how it looks like. He's reluctant to bat up the way he comes. But today he came a little early. Not today. Then the game
Yeah,
against RR, he came a little early and still tried, but it will not work. People also like there will be Sandeep Sharma has done it more than once against Dhoni. When there was a couple
yeah,
of
yeah,
years
correct.
ago, also he did it. When there was 15, 20 runs for the over, Sandeep Sharma
Independent.
delivered it for Rajasthan. So again, he has done it. So it cannot happen all the time. CSK think tank has to see they have to have power hitting. Power hitting. I mean, Stephen Fleming seems to be saying we don't have power hitting like others, but let's see who wins in the last.
Okay.
Simbu dialogue Mari.
Simple story.
Simbu dialogue Mari. Exactly. Last la yaar first vara Paklane. That's all nice to hear for a CSK fan, but they have to show it with results and points on the table. This cannot go on forever, and batting is a concern, which we said initially itself, and all three matches, like you said, has been a concern. The batting being a concern, the other parts also being a concern in a way, in terms of planning the chase, and also the bowling also is a concern. I think Ashwin is not a power play bowler. All three matches he has been given in power play, and he has been hit for runs, and he's come back after the power play
Yeah,
and done well. But the figures may not suggest it because the damage is done initially. But he
right.
is bowling well when the after 6 overs. But why do they give? I mean, the game is getting lost in that 1 over. He bowls in the power play, so that
Yeah.
has to be rectified. And the batting order sometimes. I don't know why Ruturaj is not opening.
Mm.
Not opening in any format is a crime according to me. And
Yeah.
who is opening instead of him? Rahul Tripathi,
Rahul Tripathi.
who is not even 10% of the batsman that
Yeah, yeah.
Ruturaj Gaikwad
Ability.
is. Um, so I think Ruturaj not opening is I mean every time he has to come and fix the issue that Rahul Tripathi has made. So that is not happening. I think they made a good choice of bringing in Vijay Shankar and instead of Huda
Mm.
and all. And again, Vijay Shankar's batting position was not ideal again for this one game, but it is
And
just
he's not
one
a
game.
hitter.
I wouldn't blame Vijay Shankar, but they have to do something. Their bowling, Jadeja bowled extremely well. I mean, I'm going between bowling and batting there because there are a
Yeah.
lot of holes in the strategy that CSK is using. I feel Jadeja bowled extremely well and he bowled 2 overs and he didn't finish his quota. He was 1 for 10 of 2 overs. I don't know why on earth he wouldn't finish the quota. So I think they really have to fix their strategy if they have any dreams of making it to the playoffs. As Stephen Fleming says, we will be there, and he says Dhoni cannot bat for 10 overs. If who was asking Dhoni to bat 10 overs?
Then let him play 5 overs, right? 3 overs, whatever. Just make an impact.
Exactly. Let him come at the eighth over, around the eighth over, if a wicket falls, and bat till the 14th, 15th over and finish
Yeah.
it off. His knee will not allow him for 10 overs. It's okay. He's not going 8 to 20 is not required. 8 to 15 is fine. For the destruction that he can cause in that overs, that is very good. So
And
that
even
is
previously, he was never batting 10 overs. Even in his palm, he was never batting 10 overs. He was coming
exactly
in around the 12th or the 13th over and then staying until it was done. So I don't know where this whole concept of, he can't bat 10 overs comes in. Maybe
exactly
one possibility is that he may not be able to bat until the 10th over in case they have fielded first, where probably you're going through some physio and icing and things like that. But I just think they need to figure out a way to get him in earlier because he's probably the only guy in that middle order, lower middle order who can hit sixes. Nobody else. And I think Deepak Huda, when he has a good day, can. But other than that, nobody else is able to. Then why would you not use him in those situations rather than having him come towards the end and trying to salvage what is already a lost position by then? I think this whole last layer first one is, I think you go back to what Mumbai has been doing for the last few years, where I think 2012 is the first time the previous time they won their first match. So both these teams are operating under the same thing, saying we'll start slow, we'll eventually catch up. I don't know how sustainable that is going to be. I
So
mean,
things are
it
changing with
looks
T20
great on
cricket. I mean,
paper.
things are changing with T20 cricket, Jaga. You're right.
Yeah,
Like 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 when Virat Kohli scores at 110 strike rate, it's not on, right? These
yeah,
days. So like the same thing, you cannot hide behind we are slow starters, we are slow starters for forever. I mean, I think CSK got lucky. They got their first game against Mumbai, which Mumbai always lose.
yeah, correct.
So that is why CSK have 2 points on the table, I think. So I think
Okay,
people, and they have not found a power hitting replacement
yeah,
for Dhoni. So that is why
that's
they
a
are
problem.
forced to play Dhoni towards the end. I mean, his knee, all those things are also an issue, but they do not have a power hitting replacement for him like all other teams have.
Yeah, correct.
Um, maybe it
I
Will
mean, even a
Jacks.
RR has Hetmeyer coming in at 7 or 8 or whatever, right?
Exactly. Everybody has one. CSK doesn't seem to have, and that's why they want to preserve that position for Dhoni.
Yeah.
But by the time Dhoni comes, I think it's that there is too much damage
It's
done. Even
gone.
Dhoni, maybe Dhoni in his prime could have fixed it. Dhoni at
Yeah,
43
correct.
is not able to fix those batting collapses that happen initially.
And he obviously the fact that he can't run means that he's going to walk his singles and twos like Ranatunga used to do. But
Mm.
for to compensate for that, he has to hit. Now,
Yes.
if you're literally only giving him 3 days, 3 overs, and he has to score 70, 60 or 70, then he's not going to be able to do any justice to that.
Even a Dhoni can't do where they are letting Dhoni come in.
Okay, great. Let's wind up with a team that, weirdly enough, has only played one match. Every other team has played two.
Or three.
Some teams have played three, and Punjab has played one. And this is after a pretty good first game. It's like last Tuesday was when they played it. A lot of, I mean, I think we were talking about, Ricky Ponting's message of, being the best Punjab team ever. And then Shreyas Iyer getting to 97. And, if it was Virat, he would have got 100 and things like that. Like, seems like an age ago. What is going on at the very, how can the
I don't
schedule
know
be
what.
so?
I mean, it is. I mean, of course, it's a pre-planned schedule. I don't know. The players would be itching to go and play because, especially after the first win, a big win, scoring a high score, defending that.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, GT came very close and things. But I mean, if I were part of the team, I would want to play the next game immediately in next the two three
correct.
days. Today they are playing as we are speaking. In the next
Yeah,
1 hour,
correct.
there is going to be a Punjab Kings game, but it's 1 week is a pretty long time, especially
Yeah, it's
considering
long.
all teams have played 2 or 3 games already. I don't know what is the planning
Yeah.
behind the Punjab Kings scheduling, but I think eventually they will catch up. But this 1 week is surprising to me also. I mean,
It is a
this is one of the surprises that IPL throws, Jaga. Like the one that when there was 2 runs needed with 5 wickets in hand, 24 balls remaining in the
timeout.
SRH versus LSG game, the umpire tapped his watch for the for the strategic
Strategic
timeout.
timeout.
I was wondering what will they talk? You come on, guys.
Dinner plans or, where did they go next?
So should I
நாளைக்கு
get
எத்தனை
out?
மணிக்கு எழுந்திருக்கணும்
I think
flight?
the next batsman will come and ask, I want batting. You get out, please. I mean, I was shocked. 24 balls, two to win, 5 wickets in hand. The bowling team also would
It
be
can
like, oh,
only
come
happen
on.
in. I mean, I'm like, see, if you look at other forms of cricket, particularly Test cricket, you have weird situations where like the first session is fully washed out, and then 1.5, sessions are washed out, and still they'll go for tea or some weird things like that will happen.
Yeah.
I thought at least in T20 you'll address some of these obvious problems that's still there.
So though it
Commercially,
is
it needs to happen.
not, it is called strategic timeout. It is not strategic timeout. It is
In advertisement time.
advertisement timeout. That is why the strategy is a byproduct of the advertising timeout. Okay.
Anyway, great. Yeah, so I think we covered some of those happens of the lows over the last week. We have a few more games to go in this week. We'll come back later part of this week. In the meantime, any other closing comments?
I think again. I mean, it's as exciting as always watching IPL and following all the games. This time, it's equally good or it's better because sometimes it's more good this time. Sometimes when you see people have missed out on retaining players, missed out on
Yeah,
buying
correct.
players, and how they are doing for other teams. After a mega auction, it adds more value.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, great.
Okay.
So we'll close out for today. You should see this on Instagram and on YouTube. So please do share, like, subscribe, etc., etc. Till we meet next. See you all. Bye.
Bye bye.